is a wrap, guys, from Lois Lane, number 64. So you can see that the top staple is busted and you have a big chunk here out. So can we fill these, and there's some tears, right? Can we fill these with pulp without using any pipettes, without just using essentially tools like your trusted spatula? This can help, or a brush, this can help. So yeah, I'm gonna use a combination of these two. So the first thing I'm gonna do is spray everything with water, both sides of course, and we're gonna do the repair on the back side. Right? So now that we sprayed it, we're gonna let it sit for a few minutes. So to this pulp, I'm gonna add very little nanocellulose, right? This much will go a long way. And you can gauge it. You could add more if you'd like, or you could add less. I'm gonna add a little bit of nanocellulose to it, not much. And then what I'm gonna do is mix it. And that will be my prep essentially, right? Once I finish mixing it thoroughly, I have now the stuff to add to my paper, and this will be hopefully adherent to the paper. So it's nice and smooth prep, and you could just scoop out what you want essentially, right? And directly add it to the spot that you want. That's the idea, right? Instead of using pipettes, instead of using, machines and leaf casters, you could actually do it by hand this way. Spot casting. Finally, spot casting. Real spot casting. Then I'm going to introduce these directly with a spatula into the voids, right? This is the back of the book, so I'm going to do it this way. Let's do this one here first. You just need tiny amounts, like this. And this is just regular pulp, right? Regular pulp with nanocellulose. Same way we do it in the past, where we add nanocellulose to the pulp, but that was a different strength. This is even more adherent, I would say, to these ribs, right? So you do it this way, and then you do, I don't believe there is a need to brush anything with methyl cellulose. It's just nanocellulose itself is sticky enough, and you could direct it directly into the voids, right? And you can do it this way. A way of doing spot casting without pipetting, without measuring anything, just simply mixing your pulp directly with nanocellulose. This is a nice way of fixing quickly your books and reinforcing areas and so on, right? So like this here, there's a tear here. You can just add a bit of pulp to it. That should cover it, right? Now this one is going to require more, so this one you're going to need to add a lot more pulp. And here you can use your eyes to figure out what it's going to be. Based on prior experience doing this kind of work, I can tell it's going to be a thin layer of my pulp, not a thick layer. We always overestimate the thickness of pulp, right? A need for that, right? Okay, that's probably enough. Just a little bit here. It's going to be a thin layer, right? here, I'm gonna take this edge out too. So it's like fiber to fiber, right? It's gonna be strong anyways, so I'm not too worried about the strength. Just a little bit here, right? Okay. Anywhere else? I don't see anything right now. I mean, these can be just brushed with our nanocellulose mix, right? We can do that. So these can be brushed with my nanocellulose and metal cellulose mix, right? And that's 1:1 ratio, and and then water. So you can strengthen these areas with it, right? And perhaps I should have done everything in it like this initially before we started, but I didn't. Then we'll do here like this, just in case we missed any tears, right? Okay, guys, looks pretty good. I'm gonna just cover it now with the other remain and some paper towels on the top and stick it in the press, and we'll examine it in a few hours. All right, guys, it's done. So dried and was in the press. Let's see how easy it is to separate it, because there's a lot of nanocellulose in the mix, right? And I did, of course, do the spot casting. Looks pretty good, actually. This is matches the color, as you can see here, and looks very smooth and very strong, right? Come on. Okay. Wow. That's amazing. You know, no pipetting, just have the pulp with some nanocellulose and you're good to go, right? Do like the fine pulp. Again, beautiful. I think the repair is really gorgeous. No twos about it, strong. And we didn't even overlap with the paper, and you can see the nanocellulose fibers adhering really well, right? I can pull and pull and pull, and it's just hanging in there, right? Really good stuff. And these got sealed. The staple hole you don't even see anymore, right? It's a beautiful repair. Probably the amount of CNF you add should be more regulated. I added probably too much CNF, so it's something we can play around with, right? So the amount of CNF can be lessened, and you don't have to use as much. But the way it looks, I think it's a winner. Just have to trim it and assemble the book basically, right? So here it is after trimming, guys, and you can see there is some planar shrinkage, right? That is, the paper is pulling a little bit. That's probably because we use way too much nanocellulose. I would say half the amount is enough. You don't need to use that much, right? And as far as the repair goes, it looks very natural. I mean, compared to before, this is now can be assembled into the book, and the book can be read without even noticing the interruption here in the art. Of course, this here you could probably, you don't need to worry about too much reading the names of the people here. It's readable as a story. It's now readable. The casting isn't interrupting the story per se, right? Nice. Here's the other side. Just now needs a press, right? It's not a great issue, of course, but just a reader, but still. Now you can read it. See how thick the cover is? Because I sized it. All right.